I think it's clear that the status quo is untenable. We have to do something. The question is what and in what order do we do things? I've been watching the unhoused situation and the situation in the downtown east side, I think back through the 80s, through the 90s, through the 2000s, the lead up to when the last council sought to end street homelessness by 2015, and yet here we are. And the problem has been exacerbated by this pandemic. So it's not just the people that were dealing previously with mental health and addiction issues as described, but it's also people that have been displaced from their homes through loss of jobs, eviction, and rent eviction. And there are, demographically, some groups in our society are more represented than others. So I really do appreciate the triage approach that Councillor Bligh just described. As I have pointed out, though, we are talking about the city of Vancouver, a very limited amount of land here that is, unfairly, there's no such thing as fair, having all of this downloaded onto us. And again, when I look at the people the homeowners and renters of the city, this puts a lot of pressure on them too. I know that seems like nothing when you're living in a tent, but people across, again, all of the socioeconomic spectrum are struggling in our city right now, and we have to be mindful of that. It also concerns me when I hear the thought that we should, pay the bill for this and hope that the senior levels of government are going to come back and reimburse us. In my experience, that's very unlikely to happen. We need commitments up front, and we need them fast. But all that said, I do think that there are temporary measures that we can make, and I emphasize the word temporary here. Particularly coming into the winter, we can't have people living in tents and this, order of magnitude. It's critical that we come up with temporary measures while we figure this out in the larger scale. Again, the regional approach that was brought in through an amendment by Councillor DiGenova, I think, plays an important role, just as holding the senior levels of government responsible, because the truth is that we have become, the repository. You don't see the same level, and you certainly don't see encampments like we have in Strathcona in the other municipalities in Metro Vancouver. It's a big chore, and it's a complex one. And I'm glad that we're not pretending that we're going to solve this, by 2022. We're not. But if we can get it 6 months further down the road and get solid roofs over people's heads, especially when the temperature goes below zero, we will have accomplished something. And I liken this back to the way city had to respond during the Depression in 1929 in the early 30s. And after the Second World War, when there was drastic housing shortages, the city has always stepped up. And so, again, I applaud this council for dealing with this complex subject matter. Thank you.
Thank you.